Hello there, thanks for joining me this Thursday. I am Azleen Energy and these are tonight's top stories. Prime Minister tells the US no warships in ASEAN waters. New PTPTN repayment mechanism to be unveiled next month. And Tengku Adnan Datin Sri Rosmah and her former aide charged with corruption. Now, Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad has told the United States that it does not wish to see warships in ASEAN waters. However, small patrol boats are fine. The Premier said this on the sidelines of the 2018 ASEAN Summit when asked about ASEAN's stand on the Indo-Pacific vision announced by US Vice President Mike Pence.
Well, if the strategy does not include sending the 7th Fleet into this area, we would welcome that. We stated, at least Malaysia stated its stand that the seas around the ASEAN region should be free of big warships. Small patrol boats are needed to deal with piracy mainly, but big warships may cause incidents, and that will lead to tension.
At the 6th ASEAN-United States Summit earlier this morning, Pence expressed the superpower country's commitment to maintain stability in the region. Pence also agreed that the ASEAN region must be free from warships as a means to not increase tension in the waters there.
In another development, the Premier said Malaysia will not sign the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership RCEP if it does not constitute a fair deal and benefits the nation.
We can't just accept something that sounds reasonable for other countries but may not sound reasonable for many people in our country. We want to avoid conflicts in our countries resulting in our acceding to foreign ideas.
Launched in 2012, the RCEP is the world's largest economic pact, covering nearly half the global economy. The Mega Trade Pact involves 16 nations, including 10 ASEAN member countries, plus 6 Asia-Pacific states, namely Australia, China, India, Japan, South Korea, and New Zealand.
So back home at the Dewan Rakyat sitting, the government told the August House today that it is in no hurry to ratify the International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, ICERD. It also gave its assurance that it will not abolish Article 153 of the Federal Constitution if it ratifies the ICERD.
Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, P. Weithamurthy, gave the assurance to the members of Parliament when replying to a supplementary question from Pengerang lawmaker Datuk Sri Azalina Othman, who wanted to know the government's stand on the matter.
Maksud ratifikasi seperti mana yang terdapat di dalam Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties 1969. Di bahagian D telah diberikan takrif kepada maksud reservation. Reservation means a unilateral statement, however phrased or named, made by a state when signing, ratifying, accepting, approving or acceding to a treaty, whereby it purports to exclude or to modify the legal effect of certain provisions of the treaty in their application to that state.
He also said the government will hold a consultation on ICERD in the first quarter of next year to obtain legal opinions from within and outside the country, as well as the views of the people. Article 153 involves the special rights of the Malays and Bumiputras in Sabah and Sarawak, especially on the racial quota system, permits, as well as services. Weithamurthy was reported as saying that Malaysia would ratify ICERD and 5 other treaties as early as the first quarter of next year. However, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah had said that the Cabinet needed to deliberate on the ICERD first before any decision could be made.
MPs were also told that the market price of the super yacht Equanimity cannot be disclosed in accordance with a court order dated August 24th. Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Muhammad Hanifah Maidin, said that the information has been classified as confidential and cannot be revealed during the bidding process.
Penjualan vessel tersebut melalui tender awam dijalankan dengan nilai pilihan vessel tersebut dikekalkan sulit. Ini ayat dalam perintah mahkamah dan tidak didedahkan kepada pasaran prospektif sepanjang proses penjualan. Oleh itu, semua tawaran bagi kapal tersebut akan dibuat terus kepada syarif mahkamah dan syarif mahkamah diberi kuasa untuk menerima harga tertinggi yang ditawarkan.
All the bids for its purchase, he added, are made directly to the court sheriff, who is authorized to accept the highest bid. He also told the Dewan Rakyat that no one has come forward to challenge the Malaysian court order permitting the sale of the luxury yacht linked to the 1MDB scandal and fugitive businessman Low Tech Joe or Joe Low. With the court order, all registration matters in the Cayman Islands, where the Equanimity was registered, have expired, and the successful bidder for the boat will have the legal right to it. Now, a new repayment method and mechanism for the National Higher Education Fund Corporation (PTPTN) loan repayment to help ease the burden of low-income earners will be unveiled next month. Its chairman, Wan Saiful Wan Jan, said the new repayment system is being drafted, with PTPTN holding meetings with the public to obtain feedback on how it can be best implemented. According to Wan Saiful, the announcement made by Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng during the 2019 budget tabling with regards to the PTPTN repayment needs to be given focus. He also said the PTPTN will do its best to ensure that the repayment method and mechanism will not burden borrowers with high rates to ensure they repay their loans. Last Saturday, Wan Saiful issued a public apology to Malaysians for being unable to fulfill Pakatan Harapan's manifesto pledge to delay PTPTN loan repayments for borrowers who are still earning below 4,000 ringgit a month. Wan Saiful, who was among those who penned the Buku Harapan manifesto, said the PTPTN is not trying to place an even bigger burden on borrowers, but is only stressing on the importance of them repaying the loans. The Conference of Rulers and Menteri Besar and Chief Ministers meeting agreed unanimously on the Women, Family and Community Ministry's proposal to raise the legal age for marriage to 18 from 16 in all states. The move, according to Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail, has been agreed upon on October 16th with specific conditions.
Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah, who is also the Women, Family and Community Development Minister, told MPs that for Muslims, a standard operating procedure (SOP) on child marriages has been created.
Melalui arahan amalan kepada Mahkamah Syariah seluruh Malaysia yang telah berkuatkuasa pada 23 Julai 2018 tahun ini. SOP ini antara lain menghendaki laporan sosial daripada JKM, Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat Negeri, laporan kesihatan daripada Jabatan Kesihatan Negeri dan laporan polis daripada PDRM dikemukakan kepada mahkamah sekiranya hakim syar'i mendapati bahawa laporan-laporan tersebut diperlukan dalam mempertimbangkan permohonan perkahwinan bawah umur.
She noted that details such as the background of the couple, their income, social status, affordability, and academic status are also required. As for non-Muslims, Datuk Seri Wan Azizah said the proposal for amendments to the existing laws will be tabled in the cabinet meeting next year.
Former Federal Territories Minister Datuk Seri Tengku Adnan Tengku Mansor has claimed trial at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court today to 2 counts of accepting bribes amounting to 3 million ringgit. He pleaded not guilty to the charges before Judge Azman Ahmad. It was alleged the sum was received from a businessman, Tan Eng Boon, via cheque as an inducement to approve an application by Nucleus Properties Niram Berhad to raise the plot ratio of a development at Lot 228 at Jalan Semarak, Kuala Lumpur. The 68-year-old allegedly committed the offence while he was a minister at a bank branch at the Putra World Trade Center on December 27, 2013. The charge under the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) Act provides up to 20 years imprisonment and a fine not less than 5 times the value or the amount or value of the bribe, or 10,000 ringgit, whichever is higher if found guilty. On the second charge, Tengku Adnan was alleged to have received 2 million ringgit without anything in return from one Chai Kin Kong via a cheque belonging to Asset Kayamas Sendirian Berhad at another bank branch at Pusat Bandar Damansara on June 14, 2016. The court allowed the accused bail at 1 million ringgit in one surety and ordered for him to surrender his passport. The case was fixed for mention on December 12. Now, at the same court, Datin Sri Rosmah Mansor also claimed trial to 2 counts of corruption. The former Prime Minister's wife was charged with soliciting 187.5 million ringgit and receiving a 1.5 million ringgit bribe relating to the 1.25 billion ringgit solar hybrid project for rural schools in Sarawak. She allegedly accepted the money from Jepat Holdings Sendirian Berhad Managing Director Saidi Abang Samsudin between March and April in 2016. The bribe was allegedly solicited as an inducement to help the company secure a tender through direct negotiation from the Education Ministry. The court granted bail at 1 million ringgit in one surety and allowed the 66-year-old to pay the bail in 2 installments, with 500,000 paid today and the balance to be paid within 7 days. The offence under the MACC Act provides a jail sentence of up to 20 years and a fine not less than 5 times the amount of the bribe, or 10,000 ringgit, whichever is higher upon conviction. Now, in a separate sessions court, Datuk Rizal Mansor, a former aide of Datin Sri Rosmah, pleaded not guilty to 4 charges of corruption before Judge Rosina Ayub in connection with the same project. He was charged with 2 counts of soliciting and another 2 counts of receiving bribes from Saidi. This included soliciting 187.5 million ringgit on behalf of Datin Sri Rosmah between March and April 2016, as well as 25 million ringgit from Saidi for himself as an inducement to ensure Datin Sri Rosmah would help Jepat Holdings secure the project. Datuk Rizal was also charged with 2 counts of receiving 5.5 million ringgit from Saidi in December 2016 as a reward for Datin Sri Rosmah in helping the company secure the project. The court also set bail at 1 million ringgit with one surety and ordered half of it to be paid by Thursday, with the balance to be settled next week. Now, the case was fixed for mention on November 29th. In other news, in Negeri Sembilan, 5 individuals, including 2 women, were charged at the Seremban Sessions Court with possessing fake money amounting to 1.4 million ringgit. All 5 of the accused, aged between 21 and 38, pleaded not guilty to the charge after it was read before Judge G. Ramesh. Azwan Miswadi Abdullah, Khairul Anwar Parul, Zulfika Abdul Rahman, Izaiti Akma Johari and Nur Suhaila Abdul Muttalib were jointly charged with possession of 3,464 pieces of counterfeit $100 notes and 136 pieces of counterfeit 100 ringgit notes with intention to use them as genuine at a house in Kampung Jijan Tengah in Nilai on December 27th last year. Under the Penal Code, they face a jail term of up to 10 years upon conviction. The court set bail at 12,000 ringgit from Khairul Anwar, Zulfika and Nur Suhaila with 2 sureties each, while Azwan Miswadi and Izaiti Akma were denied bail as the duo were currently serving a jail sentence for a drug-related offence. The court set December 14th for mention. Meanwhile, a 58-year-old man pleaded not guilty in the Kuantan Sessions Court today to raping his 9-year-old grandniece. The man, who is from Kelantan, made the plea before Judge Siti Aminah Ghazali. He was charged with raping the girl in the living room of a house in Jaya Gading, Kuantan in August. The charge under the Penal Code provides imprisonment for up to 30 years and whipping if found guilty. No bail was offered, while the court set December 19th for mention. Now, when we come back, charred body discovered in burnt car. The details up next. Don't go away. Thanks for staying with us. Now, a Mahat Tahfiz Darul Iman student was found drowned at 9:20 p.m. last night, about 20 meters from the location he was reported missing. 13-year-old Ahmad Muhaimin Muhammad Abdul Razib was bathing in a drainage in Kampung Padang Air, Kuala Nurus, Terengganu, with 6 of his friends yesterday evening. The victim was believed to have been swept away by strong currents brought upon by heavy rain. His friends were not able to rescue him and called for help. 25 firemen from the Kuala Terengganu and Kuala Nerus Fire Department were involved in the search and rescue operations. Ahmad Muhaimin's body was brought to the Sultanah Nur Zahirah Hospital for post-mortem. Now, a charred body believed to have been murdered was found in a palm oil plantation in Kampung Bajar, Teluk Intan this morning. Police found the remains in the passenger seat after receiving information from a man who was passing by the area at 8:45 a.m. SAC Yahya Abdul Rahman reported that the identity of the victim and the make of the vehicle that the victim was in has yet to be ascertained as they were badly burnt.
Pagi tadi saya kurang lebih 9 saya tengok kereta ada bakar, tapi antara asap dah saya tengok kereta parking sana. Saya dekat-dekat tengok ada mayat. Jadi saya buat report lah pukul 9. Saya nampak tu kering habis bakar lah. Saya tengok nampak tulang dia. Jadi tu nampak tu orang lah, manusia lah.
Police believe that the victim was brought from another location and was set ablaze at the palm oil plantation where the body was found. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code for murder. Now it's time for a clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. So a wife can be patient to tolerate a husband's temper, but everyone has their limits. In this case, after repeatedly being abused, a wife finally filed for a divorce, but the decision was apparently not mutual. Here's what happened.
A video uploaded on social media last Friday showed the high-tempered husband kneeling on both knees and further bowing, touching his forehead to the ground, begging for his wife to cancel their divorce. The act was witnessed by a number of people at the divorce court, creating a mild drama to watch. It was believed that the man's abusive behavior has led to their separation. The video, which has garnered over 172,000 views as of today, had sparked widespread public outrages due to disagreement towards the man. Many had commented on the post telling her that the man's action was just for the show and she shouldn't be trusting a person who has hit her repeatedly before, because trust is like a paper. Once crumpled, it can't be perfect again. Well, let's hope that the best works out for the two of them.
Now, in this other story, this might sound ridiculous for some of you, but for this Japanese man, life couldn't be sweeter, as he recently got married to a popular anime character, Hatsune Miku. 35-year-old Akihiko Kondo, who was convinced at a young age that he would never find a partner or marry, said after he discovered Miku singing on the internet, he knew she was the one. For their wedding, Kondo, a middle school administrator in a suburb of Tokyo, had an $18,000 wedding with nearly 40 guests at their special occasion. It is believed that the bride recognizes Kondo's face and voice with its embedded camera and microphone and can respond with simple phrases and songs. That alone has made Kondo the happiest man in the world, as he claims that he falls more in love with his bride every single day. Extreme devotion to celebrities is not uncommon in Japan, but Kondo's wedding did raise some eyebrows, especially his parents, as they disapproved and refused to attend the union. However, Kondo did receive good wishes and congratulations from friends and fellow Hatsune Miku fans on Twitter. Commenting on whether anyone approves of this union or not, Kondo hopes to inspire others with his cross-dimension wedding. He was among 3,700 Japanese who have signed up for marriage registration forms offered by tech developer Gatebox in 2017. And now updated as of 7 p.m, here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today.